Finally, there's this empty lot in South St. Louis that has a lot of potential for tapping into the potential of a lot of young people. It's about science, but it's not really science class as we usually think about it. As part of our American Graduate coverage, Michelle Whaley took a look at the greenhouse venture, which is just getting off and really just getting into the ground.
At the corner of Lawrence and Detente Street, you'll find an empty lot that is marked as the future site of a new science education center called the Greenhouse Venture. For the time being, the Greenhouse Venture's after-school program is being held a few blocks over at St. Margaret of Scotland, where the kids are getting down and dirty to figure out what goes into soil.
Today, we took samples of soil from different places, a garden, and underneath a tree near playgrounds.
When we came back here, we looked at our soil samples and talked about them.
We found worms and clay. The clay was orange and it was little bitty worms.
Oh, there's some worms in there? 4 worms? Those are excellent. Why? Why are worms good?
They're a nutrient poop factory.
The Greenhouse Venture is aimed at increasing student knowledge of proper nutrition, improving science education, and to get more students interested in future careers in science.
Venture is a community startup. What it's going to provide is access at a young age, 7 or 8 years old, up to 8th grade, as we grow, to that whole intellectual condition or situation. Our goal is to raise money and have it in place by August of 2019. And the building will be about 1.5 stories, about 7,800 feet. And it will have classrooms, we'll have a greenhouse, we'll have tanks for the water to feed the fish and feed all the gardens and stuff. We'll have a plaza.
Not only will they have classrooms in a greenhouse, they will also have a 3.5-acre educational garden on the embankment of 44 between Thurman and 39th Street.
The idea was to create that kind of facility and then to have the schools be able to come in and bring classes in. And we want to have it running all week long. So at 9 o'clock there'll be a class from a land fee investigative learning center just down the street. Then, at 10 o'clock maybe one from language immersion comes in. We don't control the education that goes on there. We just give them a place where teachers can do great things because we've got great facilities.
Currently, the Greenhouse Venture is holding an after-school program with 4 schools: Malamphy, St. Margaret of Scotland, Tower Grove Christian, and St. Louis Language Immersion.
Eventually the model is to begin to affect science education in the whole region for interested schools by having what's essentially a hub and spoke system, where we're a hub, but we have spokes out in all kinds of schools all over the city. And we think we'll have some really good impacts on some of the low-income areas that way, because we can really help some of the struggling schools to do better with their science that way.
So the greenhouse already, they have a much larger goal that we're going to be regional. But as of right now, they're already touching other lives that students would never have the opportunity to participate in more science, which is incredible.
This compared to yours, what do you think is going to happen?
The children have just been totally immersed. They come in at recess time to check their plants, to water their plants, to measure. They're pulling out their rulers and they're measuring, and they're doing all of that on their time. And they're excited to do that.
I love it because we get to try new things and we get to meet new people. When I grow up, I want to be a scientist.
My goal is that this little match will strike a fire in the school, in an urban environment. And before you know it, students in the city of St. Louis, in the Shaw community, will be learning more and more bioscience.